we have Hadassah Saya. Hadassah, in her own words, is a reader happiest when lost in a good story. Hadassah is also, Hadassah is also a writer whose works have been featured in Picture Narratives Kenya and now in Debunk Quarterly 001. Hadassah, please tell us what your story is about and the first reading.
I'm 28 years old, but but most days I feel like a 3-year-old. That's because I think of my life in two parts as it is right now. There's a before and an after. There are many possibilities, many opportunities, but I got to a place and I didn't know who is this Hadassah? This person I want to give opportunities. This person I want to give the world to. Who is she? So this story is my story. It's Hadassah. Yeah. The last time I tried to kill myself, I was 25 years old. I stood on a ledge 9 floors from the ground, staring into the abyss that was my life. It called to me as it always did, taunting with memories of all the things I should have, could have, or would have done better. Powerless to do much else, I stood there, taking it all in, letting shame and regret weigh me down. Maybe if I stood there long enough, the weight would be weighty enough to send me over the edge. I was up to my ears in shit. Nothing in my life was working. It seemed like I was standing still while everyone else and their deadbeat uncle moved forward. Months earlier, a therapist I was seeing had broken the news to me. I was clinically depressed with signs of dissociative disorder. I'd laughed in her face. Sure, I hadn't been happy in a long time, but wasn't that normal? No, it's not, she'd said with little bemusement. Not to the level of sadness you're at anyway. If you're willing, I can book you in for a weekly session. If it were completely up to me, I wouldn't have taken up the offer, but I felt obligated to do so because of the number of bodies involved. My college professor, out of concern, had called me in to find out why I hadn't submitted anything for review, even as the deadline for turning in my final year project closed in. He worried I wouldn't graduate. It would be such a crying shame, he'd said. I was quiet. I couldn't find words to express the tangled mess swirling in my mind. He took it for discomfort. He was male and much older. Maybe he wasn't the right person to handle this. He excused himself, and as he was leaving the room, asked that I wait there. In a bit, I'd learned that he'd gone to call for backup.
Isn't that beautiful? It's gripping, is what it is. Like you did that first sentence, and it was like, okay, I'm stopping everything I'm doing, and I'm reading this. And it takes a ridiculous level of vulnerability to share such a personal and painful story with the public, with the world. Where did you get the strength and the courage to write such a powerful piece?
I felt like I can't move forward without knowing what I've been through, because I'd never given myself a chance. But 3 years ago, clearly I didn't die because I'm here. So, but when thank you. But when I decided to leave, I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question is, where did you get the courage to write the story?
When I decided to leave, I decided to give myself a chance because I felt like that was the thing that was keeping me, that was holding me back. I didn't listen to myself. I didn't care about myself. I was always taking other people's opinions over my own. So there was that. I had made a decision to give myself a chance with this second life. And then the editor made it a very safe space. I also drew strength from that. But also, if I may add, I also wanted, because I feel like my story, if you take off some few things, if you don't look at the circumstances, you just look at the feelings, I feel like it's something everyone can relate to. It's just common things, but we don't talk about it. And I feel like if we'd have been more open, maybe it wouldn't have gone for me the way it did. So there was also some sense of responsibility, social responsibility, because I've already gone through it and I'm overcoming it. So if there's just one more person who can make different choices from hearing my story, I also wanted to be part of that.
You answered my next question. When you signed my copy of the quarterly, this is what you wrote. You said, Mohammed, when you have the choice to fight or flee, I hope you choose yourself. Yes. And I found that so encouraging and in a way, relating to your story, a story that transitions from a narrative of despair to one of hope. So thank you for that. I'm going to go back a bit throughout the story. You grappled with feelings of invisibility, inadequacy, being misunderstood. And then here you are, 25 years old, overwhelmed and pushed to a breaking point. You decide that this is it, and you went all the way to the ninth floor, and you stood on a ledge. And just before you jumped, you heard a voice. And there was this dialogue that ensued in your mind. And thanks to that moment of hesitation, we are honored to have you grace our presence, and we are honored to read your powerful story. So the question is, in the aftermath of all of this, of deciding to live, how do you continue to find purpose and meaning in life, and how do you continue to heal?
I've taken time to discover. I didn't even know what kind of things I liked. I didn't know what I could tolerate. I didn't know my limits. I knew nothing. I'd stayed with myself for 25 years, but I knew nothing. So trying to get in touch with myself, trying to find out the kind of things that give me meaning, that has helped. It has helped a lot. Saying yes to a lot of things, exposing myself, because that was the problem before. I was closed off, completely isolated, closed off. So opening myself, letting the light in, letting my own light out, and seeing it. Like in this case, I've had feedback from this, and it gives me, at least, even if it won't take me too far, it will take me to the next breath, the next step, the next day, step by step.
Amazing. Now, there's you and there's also another writer who've been so brave in writing about heavy traumatic experiences. I mean, not just the two of you, but your two stories are the ones that are really heavy. And the thing with writing about personal trauma is that it can be cathartic and therapeutic, but it can also be, re-traumatizing if you're not careful with that. So how did you navigate these emotional challenges during the writing process? How did you prepare yourself emotionally to revisit these, if I may use the word, dark moments?
There wasn't, I'm like Asha, there's not an intelligent answer for that. But my editor asked me to think of it this way. He said, just write. Just assume we're not publishing this story. Write it for yourself first, read it, and then we'll figure out what next. So in my mind, I wasn't writing for other people. I wasn't even writing for it to be published. It was just kind of like taking out what's inside me and putting it out there and looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what is in me. This is what I have. Yeah, so it wasn't too hard once I got into that space. Getting there might have been hard, but yeah, once I did, I thought of it like I'm doing this for myself, just to see what I have inside me.
Amazing. The title, Now We Skate. Where did that title come from? How important was or is skating for you? Because in a way, skating did save you.
It did.
Yeah. So are there, what's your connection with skating right now? Or can you tell us how it saved your life?
I skateboarding. The first time I chose myself, it was for skateboarding. I was walking around. I'm sure I was depressed out of my mind. But I stumbled upon skateboarders, a group of skateboarders in Uhuru Park. And they were skating, they were falling. It was a messy affair. There was blood, there was sweat, they were dirty. But they would fall and they would get up, right? Their eyes, they just looked, it was stupid, to be honest. Like, why would you literally, it dropped you. You stepped on it and you fell and you're bleeding. Someone else has a twisted ankle, but you get up with your twisted ankle and you get back on it. Like, it didn't make sense to me, but I was envious. I found myself envious because I couldn't remember the last time I'd given myself that completely to anything. And I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be someone who gives wholeheartedly to something that I feel matters to me. So it was not an easy choice. If you read the story, you'll understand more. It was not an easy choice, but it was the first time I chose myself. It's been regrettably a bit of a while since I have been on a skateboard, but it's there in my room. I see it every day, and I'm grateful every day.
Amazing.